Hey folks, I'm Tom Vasel. Welcome to the Dice Tower. Today I'm talking about my top 10 stock market games. Now before I jump into this, I want to give you the caveat that there's certainly very heavy economic stock market games, and I tend to kind of skew away from those. You won't see many of those on my list. Very specifically, there's a lot of train stock market games. Think the Chicago Rails or the 18XX style games, and some people really enjoy those, not necessarily my wheelhouse. I tend to like lighter stock market games, so that's kind of what my list is. Let's take a look here, starting with number 10. Number 10 for me is Acquire, the classic game. For some people, this would be number 1. It's certainly the oldest game on the list. I really enjoy how simple this game is, with a grid that you're kind of turning tiles over, using a tile to place and grow different companies that will eventually start swallowing each other and merging into each other. Designed by the famous designer Sid Saxon. This is probably his most well-known game. Fantastic. It's been made by many companies over the years. Really enjoy Acquire. Number 9 is Panic on Wall Street. This is actually, that's the second edition of the game, but what makes this game interesting is a couple things. First of all, there are 2 winners. The players are split into 2 groups. Each group has 1 winner. Secondly, the game is, much of it takes place in real time. As you're trading back and forth, there are the bankers, the investors, and then there are the people who are selling them their investments, and you're going back and forth trying to trade with all these different people. And then it also goes up to 11 players. It's fantastic. It's a really neat game and very unique. Panic on Wall Street. Number 8 is The Last Spike. So this is basically talking about the Transcontinental Railroad as these tracks are coming and meeting in the middle, and you are investing in different cities over the course of this game. Now you can invest in the cities that are definitely going to be part of it, but they're going to have fewer connections, so they'll get you less money. You can go for ones that will get you more connections and more points of money as the game goes by, but there's a chance that they won't even be on the Transcontinental Railroad. Very simple, but a lot of fun. Recommend it, The Last Spike. Number 7 is Mogul. This is just pure stocks. It's a train game, but the train part is basically gone. You're buying stocks in this game, and you do so by putting a chip on a stock to bid on it. And you just keep going around, but if you ever want to stop bidding, you take all the chips in the middle. It's very similar to a very famous game called No Thanks, but this Mogul does a really good job of taking that into a stock game. And they just came out with a new edition of this a few years ago, which kind of ironed out a few small wrinkles to the game and makes it just one of the best, yet simplest stock market games out there. Number 6 is Incorporated. Not quite so simple. This one takes place in the near future. You are a big shadowy corporation, and you are investing in different commodities and things all over the earth. It's an asymmetrical game. Each player is very different. There's a lot going on in the game, but it has this very well-oiled machine-type feel to it. Now, the box cover is boring. Granted, a lot of people think stocks are boring in general, but inside that boring-looking box is a pretty fantastic game, Incorporated. Number 5 is Prospectus. This is one of the weirder themed ones on the list because in this one, you are mages in the potion stock market, essentially. I thought I added a fantasy theme to it, but it's still a stock market game. And what's cool about this one, it comes with this giant crystal ball, and the way stock prices go up or down are the cubes falling out of it. You're going to be throwing colored cubes into it, but not all the cubes are coming out. Basically, it's the cube tower from games like Wallenstein and Shogun. And as these cubes come out, the price are going to go up or down, and so you're deciding what cubes to throw in the tower. It's really neat, a cool back and forth idea, and that magic crystal ball does help add to the fantasy theme to it. Number 4 is Mombasa. This game from very famous designer Alexander Pfister, and I consider it to be one of his best games. You are investing in different businesses that are expanding throughout Africa. And these different companies that you're going to be investing in, you can play with the basic ones from the game where they can change. There's actually a lot of variety in it, but it's basically that. Are you going to help them grow? And as they grow, which ones will you invest in? Now, there's a lot more going on in this game other than just stock market, but it is kind of the base core of the game. And like I said, there's a lot of Alexander Pfister games out there. I think I'd put this one easily in the top. Number 3 is Speculation. Now, this is an older game that Queen just a few years ago reprinted, and it looks fairly basic. It looks almost like a roll and move type board, as you have all these stocks and you're using cards to move them along this track, which will help them go up or down. And this simple game belies the fact that there's actually some pretty good choices. It's not that long of a game. Everyone's kind of involved. It handles more players, I think, more easily than most. It doesn't require a great deal of like, oh, okay, if I spend this much for this, I'll do this for that. No, it's fairly simple but I think that simplicity has a pretty good game underneath. I like it a lot. Speculation. Number 2 is Airlines Europe. Alan Moon is, of course, most well known for Ticket to Ride, but this is easily in the running for one of his best games. This game, which originally was called Union Pacific, which before that was called Airlines, this is the very epitome of, do I want to make my companies, airline companies I'm investing in, grow, or do I want to take more stocks? You take too many stocks, your companies might never grow, and vice versa. It is a really neat idea, and it's so smooth. It scales well, looks good. I have nothing bad to say about this game. I like it a lot. Airlines Europe. And my favorite stock market game is Stockpile from Navu Games. Stockpile is insider trading the game. You know a little bit of information. There are 6 companies. You know about one of them. And you know whether their stock's going to go up or down, but you're watching the other players because they also know one piece of information. And so that's just a simple idea, but it works really well. It's very much buy low, sell high type thing, and it has a simple and advanced game. The advanced game is really good. Has an expansion, also really good. But even just the basic game, I just love it a lot because it's just that whole reading the other players, but also knowing when to buy and sell stock. Really simple, fun game. I love it a lot. My favorite stock market game, Stockpile. What are your favorite stock market games? Let me know in the comments below. Some of you will probably like heavier ones than me, I'm sure. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel. You've been watching Top 10 Stock Market Games on the Dice Tower.